Hey guys, long time no see. Have to apologize for that. I've been really busy as of late. But tonight I'm enjoying a nice quiet night of drinking. This is absinthe. And watching one of my favorite animes, Gantz. Oh, and I've got my Mikasa pillow over here too. Anyhow, okay, so what I thought I'd do is I'd come at y'all with a review of the WWE Royal Rumble. Here's fucking up. I'm in my pajamas, so obviously I don't care too much about how I look right now. So sorry, bear with me. I wanted to come at y'all with a review of the Royal Rumble because I am a huge WWE wrestling fan. And also, I wanted to give y'all my predictions for the upcoming UFC event, Uriah Faber versus Hannon Barrow for the bantamweight title. Okay, so let's start with the Royal Rumble. I believe I'm not gonna do these in order necessarily. They may fall in order, but I'm just gonna do them the way I remember them and what stuck out as memorable to me. If I'm not mistaken, the first match was Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was really entertaining. It shifted a lot. I wasn't really sure who was going to take that one. I was actually pretty surprised when Bray Wyatt got the pinfall. And I thought it was kind of stupid too because I feel like everybody wants Daniel Bryan to get a push and be promoted. I feel like he's not getting what he deserves. I feel like he deserves a lot more than what he's getting. But either way, it was a pretty entertaining match. Bray Wyatt's finisher, I can't remember what it's called, is so creepy, but it was something. And then I believe the match after that was John Cena and Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I think I said that right. If not, sorry. But that match was a little slow at first, and actually you could hear the audience chanting, boring Daniel Bryan. They were really supporting Daniel Bryan that night, rightfully so, because I really like Daniel Bryan. I think he's a great wrestler, and I think they're not using. I honestly don't think they know what to do with him. Because he had his brief heel turn, I guess you could call it, for a while, where he was with the Wyatt family. And my guess was that wasn't working out, so they had him do something else, and they had him just go back to being a face. Sorry, camera's lagging. I don't really know. Sorry, I went off on a tangent. Anyway, so the match, Cena Orton, it was decent, I guess. The ending kind of pissed me off when the Wyatt family basically came out of nowhere and I guess knocked Cena out. I can't remember what exactly they did, and then Orton picked up the pinfall, and that was that. That one was a decent match, I'd say. And then I think after that, it was Brock Lesnar and The Big Show. This was my least favorite match of the night. I was really disappointed too because I'm a huge Brock Lesnar fan. You don't get to see him that often, so when they do use him, I like them to use him in a spectacular fashion, which they didn't. He basically just came out before the match started and battered the Big Show with chairs, and the match started. I think the Big Show landed a KO punch or whatever the fuck it's called that he does, and Brock was rocked. But then he got in there and gave him an F5, got the pinfall, and that was it. It was really boring. Boring and just anticlimactic. But I think that was just kind of a stepping stone feud anyway for his next feud, which I believe is going to be with. I don't know. I haven't watched. I didn't watch the past Raw, but I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's with Batista or Randy Orton next. So I don't know. And then I think the next match, which I don't know. I don't remember if this was a match or not. I really don't care for tag team matches. They don't entertain me. But I think it was the Rhodes Brothers versus the New Age Outlaws. I don't think I even watched that one, to be honest. So I don't remember who won. Yeah, so that was that. And then there was the Royal Rumble itself, which I thought was kind of weak this year. CM Punk and not Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan wasn't in the Royal Rumble, which I thought was fucked, by the way. As did many others. My favorite two guys in there were CM Punk and Dean Ambrose. And I felt like CM Punk was just kind of getting beat up in the corner most of the time, So, I mean, I think maybe he was injured. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, he's just gone from the business altogether now. But, who knows if that's a ploy or not. There's talk about him maybe getting into MMA now, which I think would be cool. I'm a huge MMA fan as well. I don't know. Anyway, God, I need to quit going off on tangents. So, Punk was basically getting beat up in the corner most of the time. I thought most of it was pretty mediocre. Although I think that little barrage CM Punk started throwing out at the end with I think he went for like a spinning or a swinging neck breaker to Roman Reigns, and then a GTS to Batista. I can't remember, but it was pretty cool. And before Kane yanked him out, and I thought that was fucking stupid because, that's weak. I mean, what really is Kane now? He was great back in the day, but I think his whole gimmick now is really stupid. Anyway, long story short, after a kind of mediocre Royal Rumble, Batista ended up winning, and I think everybody saw that coming. Most people didn't care for that. Myself included, because I like Batista, but I feel like, he just got back. I feel like maybe he should have to work his way up a little bit more. But that's the way I see it, and I think that's the way a lot of people see it. But anyway, okay, so that was the Royal Rumble. Now I'm going to get to the predictions for UFC 169. There's only 3 fights that I particularly care for, and that is, let me talk about the first one, which is Frank Mir versus Alistair Overeem. How I see that one going, That one's probably the I don't know. I think. What's gonna happen is well, Frank Mir's on TRT now, which I mean we've seen what that can do for you. You know, Dan Henderson is by MMA standards he's considered ancient, but he's still doing pretty good. Like I mean, I think he's still a top 10 light heavyweight, and you know, and he's what 43. That's impressive. And then we've seen what it's done for Vitor Belfort. Now, I'm not saying TRT gives you actual martial arts skill, but I think definitely enhances your performance. And you know, he's on a 3 win knockout streak. You know, by head kicks too, which is impressive. He's the first guy to finish Dan Henderson, which that's impressive. So now that Mir's on TRT, that's gonna be interesting. Alistair Overeem, I feel like he definitely has the power to knock out Frank Mir. I mean, that's not even a question. Of course he does, but you know, it's just a matter of whether or not he's serious or not. Because I kind of feel like he gave his past 2 fights away. But anyway, another tangent. The way I see this unrolling is I see. I'd have to say my prediction for that fight will either be Frank Mir by first round knockout or Frank Mir by first round submission. And then the second fight I'm interested in is the co-main event for the featherweight title, Jose Aldo and Ricardo Lamas, I think. Let me... yeah, Ricardo Lamas. How I think this one's going to go, I'm a firm believer that Jose Aldo is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So I can't really see Ricardo Lamas beating him. I think the way that this one's gonna go is Jose Aldo's gonna beat him. I'd say by either first or second round KO. My guess would probably be with like a knee or a kick. And if not, he'll beat him by decision. And then on to the main event, Uriah Faber versus Hanan Barao. That's a good one because they fought before and it was a razor close decision. But Faber's just been on fire since then, and I mean, I don't know. It's like Joe Rogan said. There's hardly any holes in his game. I think he has one thing that Hanan doesn't have, and that's the good old American wrestling. So I think what's going to happen is I predict that Faber is going to take this by third round submission with a guillotine choke. So, alright guys, that was my review for the Royal Rumble and my UFC 169 predictions. I hope to make videos a lot more prolifically, and y'all take care. I'll see y'all later.